Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty specific, but I bet a lot of you will relate. It's that weirdly profound sense of loneliness that can hit you when you're really starting to grow, but it feels like the rest of your world hasn't quite caught up yet. So we're going to build a map to help you navigate it.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that, man, it really hits home. You're sitting there, right? Maybe it's at a bar, a dinner party, whatever, and you suddenly realize the conversations feel different. It's like a language you used to speak fluently, but now you've kind of forgotten the words. You can see where you're going, but you're not there yet, and you definitely can't go back. Sound familiar? Yeah. Well, stick with me because we're going to make sense of all of it.
So, what is this feeling? First things first, and this is super important, it is not a personal failure, okay? It's not that you're weird or you've done something wrong. It's actually a predictable, kind of structural part of growth. And believe it or not, it even has a name. And what's really fascinating here is how we often completely unintentionally set ourselves up for this exact feeling. One of the biggest reasons is something called the sequence trap. It's that classic playbook, you know the one. Go all in on your career in your 20s, build the empire, and then, once all that's sorted, then you'll focus on finding a partner, deep friendships, the whole deal. It sounds so logical on paper, but it totally ignores a critical piece of reality. Yeah, and this lays it out perfectly. That sequential approach, it's a massive gamble. You pour what? A decade of your life into one single area? And then when you finally pop your head up for air, you find out the social and romantic world, the so-called marketplace, it's operating on a completely different clock. But the concurrent approach, that's about balanced, integrated development. You're building your career, your character, and your relationships all at the same time. It's all happening together.
Okay, so if that old map leads straight into a trap, well, it's pretty obvious we need a new one, right? This is the pivot point. We're shifting from just understanding the problem to actually navigating the solution. It is time to build your reality map.
And this, right here, this is the cornerstone of your new map. I really want you to let this one sink in for a second. That lonely feeling, it is not a punishment. It's not a sign you're failing. It's a feature, not a bug of genuine transformation. It's just a temporary structural part of the whole process.
And here is such a powerful way to picture what's happening. The hallway metaphor. Just imagine your old life was a room you just left because, well, you've outgrown it. That door's closed now, so where are you? You're in the hallway, a transitional space. And the absolute key here is to remember that hallways are for walking through. They're not for setting up camp and living in. That new room, the one that actually fits the person you're becoming, it's just up ahead. The biggest mistake people make is they panic in the hallway and they sprint right back to that old room just because it feels familiar.
So, if you're standing in that hallway right now, you're going to need some landmarks to get your bearings, right? These are the core principles, the North Star that will guide you straight through all that uncertainty. Okay, landmark number 1. If you keep finding yourself stuck in the same frustrating patterns, I'm talking relationships, money, your career, whatever it is not fate, it's feedback. That's all it is. It's a message from your deep unconscious programming basically screaming at you that the underlying system, it hasn't really changed yet. And that leads us to a really challenging but absolutely crucial point. Real transformation isn't about just improving the old you. It's not about slapping a new coat of paint on a house with a crumbling foundation. No. It requires the termination of the old self. The identity that created those old results in the first place has to go. You simply cannot build a new future while you're still clinging to the blueprints of your past. And this right here explains exactly why that internal demolition job is so important. Look, your internal world is always the cause. Your external world, that's just the effect. It's a mirror. The work you do in private, on your habits, your mindset, your non-negotiable standards, that is what ultimately sculpts the public results everyone else gets to see. So that lonely phase in the hallway, that's just the lag time. It's the necessary delay between planting the seed in private and seeing the tree finally grow in public. All right, so what do you actually do during this time? What does this look like in practice? This brings us to the most actionable part of this whole journey, what we're calling the work in the silence. This is the real test of your transformation. Seriously, when your old crowd isn't there to give you a pat on the back and the new crowd hasn't even shown up yet, you are completely alone with your new commitments. There's no applause, no one's liking your posts, it's just you. Can you still hold the line then? This is where you find out if the change is real, or if it was all just a performance for an audience that's already left. And these are the foundations you're laying down in that quiet time. We're talking about the early mornings when no one's watching, the disciplined routines you stick to even when you don't feel like it, the unwavering standards you refuse to lower for anyone or anything. But most of all, it's about forging an absolutely unbreakable relationship with yourself so you can become your own source of validation. This is the work that creates a version of you that simply cannot be shaken.
Okay, let's bring this all home. If you take away just one single thing from our time together today, please let it be this. Simple as this. Don't quit during the loneliness. Seriously, this is the moment. This is when most people give up. They get uncomfortable in that hallway, they start to miss the toxic but familiar comfort of the old room, and they turn back. They abandon all their progress, sometimes just moments before that new door was about to swing open. Please do not let that be you. And here's the final, and maybe the most powerful reframe I can give you. That discomfort you're feeling, it is not a stop sign. It's a progress report. It is concrete, undeniable evidence that you are on the right path. See, real growth is, by its very nature, destabilizing. So the fact that you feel it, that just means it's working. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Are you in the hallway right now? And if you are, I want you to know that you're not actually alone in your loneliness. And that new room, it will open. But it only opens for the person who's still standing there when it does. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.